Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Worldology and I'm going to talk to you all about my wish list and what I want to see added into the next Battlefield, right? So this whole wish list is going to be a list of 15 things. And the reason why 15 things and not like, 30, 40, 100, things that should be added into the game, I'm going to say 15 because you can literally say a poet letter of a book, you know, of how much you can add and you know into Battlefield to make this game way better than it should be, right? So yeah, enough awkwardness. So I'm gonna get straight into the point. First, y'all remember in 2042's launch, you could not ping anything by yourself. So first I'm gonna say we should keep the point to spot animation, the classic point to spot animation with your hand pointing at the enemy soldier. The reason why I said that, right, is first, it's an animation that no other game has put into their game, and even if they did, obviously it's from what this game called Battlefield did first, right? So the point to spot animation is the good choice, and it also singles out to not ping everything else that you do not want to ping, meaning that we only need one press Q to ping, right, for the game instead of having obviously pinging everywhere and the freedom to ping anywhere you want, meaning that if you miss, you have to literally be on the opponent's like body to spot them, right? And sometimes when you do that in the launch of 2042, when you tried to spot them, you could not spot them unless you was directly on them, meaning that the pinging and the spotting wasn't really consistent. So we just need singled out ping. The animation can be added, for more battlefield likeness of the game. Hey, if you don't like the animation, then some people do, some people don't. I don't know, but for me, I do. And also update the pinging system in a game when you're, dead. But I'm gonna come to that in the upcoming, points and stuff that I want in the next Battlefield. More diverse chit chat. I did say that in my past video. The more diverse chit chat is supposed to be, situational in whatever group environment that you're in. If you're in a large crowd, like in this situation in a gameplay of 2042, yes, it can be very loud. But when we're running like this side by side, only us two, then yes, it should be more quiet and less chit chat so we do not get heard by the teammates. Only the footsteps should be heard, right? And sometimes I did get, killed from having a loud ass, character screaming into the screen, into the game, and somebody heard me and heard my footsteps as well. So they heard double of my, choices of approach. So happenings of approach, right? And my next one, and this is very controversial in a topic that's in Reddit, the combat dive while shooting. I want that in the game. And the reason why I say I want that in the game, right, is because they had the combat dive in BO6. In the first start of, the beta and the launch of BO6, everybody was using the combat dive. The reason why I think Battlefield should have, combat dive while shooting is because we will have more situational, you know, territorial battles, right? We will have more open space, more buildings to do the combat dive on, and the game will not be like a open wide fest where you honestly can't do it. So in BO6, nobody uses, the combat dive, uses the mechanics that they added into the game. Why? Because the game is only a three-way map, right? You only get three ways on where you're going. So even if you do get a perfect dive, it's not entirely situational. Meaning that if you get that dive, in my opinion, if you get the dive and you achieve it perfectly, there's going to be another person coming towards you in a matter of seconds, right? And you won't be able to get out of that situation because, the maps aren't really that good. It's only a three-way map. You don't get no type of cover. But in Battlefield, right, you get a lot of cover and you can get more momentum in the mechanics that you do with the movement that I hope that they will add into the game and keep it, right? So on to my next topic. Streamer mode. Streamer mode and anonymous mode. I think somebody leaked it and said that it was going to be in the next game. So I do, advocate for keeping that into the game. And the sad part about streamer mode is some people, wants to interact with some streamers and some streamers want to interact with, their people in their own community, right? So if people do not want it, then they can turn it off, right? It's not automatically where you have to have it on, right? So for the people who want that, privacy and not wanting people coming into their game doing all this nonsense and whatnot, not even playing the game themselves, just wasting their time, right? We can just, have the streamer mode or anonymous mode and keep it on, right? And this next thing is more of just, something that I like. But I don't really use it that much. But some people will probably use it because Apex Legends added that into the game, and I'm talking about the big little Kovacs health bars, right? Like the BO the BF4 health bars where you can see like the big little health bar screen, kind of like aim training while in the game. They added it to Apex Legends, and obviously it should be a setting where you should you know customize your own health bars or whatever in the game that you want for more visibility and stuff like that. I'll also add that to visibility, right? The game should be more visible into the game, and you should be able to customize how much visibility you want on the screen. So that's just a fun little thing I want added into the game, right? So the next thing is spread slash bloom with zero visual recoil. The reason I said zero visual recoil is because you don't need visual recoil for the game. Bloom or spread, right? Whichever one you want to call them, they already make the game as as it is, right? Focus and you have to focus on your shooting and your shooting skill and tapping at the correct moments of range that you're shooting your opponent, right? Visual recoil, it just messes with the whole thing, and apparently the destruction of course, according to the leaks, everything is way more destructive. So imagine being in a gunfight and the building crumbles down next to you, or even when you're far, far away from the building, and then you know you try to shoot somebody, and then the visual recoil two times the recoil, right, of that visuality. It's not really a fun thing, right? So yeah, keep spread and bloom into the game, and I do not want to see visual recoil. The next topic is slide cancel. Should we have slide cancel in the game? It's another debatable topic in the movement sanctuary. Um, so this is my thing. We're obviously not going to get no slide cancel like how Call of Duty has, right? We're just going to get a slide cancel that looks more realistic into how a slide cancel would probably look in real life if a person is that skilled to do that, right? So slide canceling, you should be a slide cancel jump and, have a little bit more time to get situated and not go into, the Call of Duty effect where you can slide cancel every single second. So yeah, add slide cancel to the game, but it should be tweaked into a more medium pace style, not necessarily too fast or too slow, you know, just medium and not really spammy, but more of a situational thing, of course. My next topic, and it's more of a content wise thing, is customizable dog tags, right? And you should be able to collect people's customized dog tags from when you take them down. So you can have, a collection of people's customized dog tags with their name on it, obviously. Yeah, that's toxic for real. And keep it as a souvenir, right? And why do I say it as that? Because we do have, the taking dog tags and stuff like that. But people do not really. I don't think Battlefield has like a customizable dog tag where you can put an emblem on your dog tag or make it more suitable. You can probably take the emblem as well. Who knows? But just make a customizable dog tag that you can take from them, and it has to be from a takedown. You can't kill them and take their dog tag, right? And that's a pretty interesting feature as well. If collect having an animation where you can collect a dog tag when they're downed or something to put a full kill on them. That's kind of crazy to think about. But enough of that topic. Customizable dog tags, and be able to take their customizable dog tags when you achieve a takedown. My next thing is variety of map weathers: rain, snow, hail, mist, and fog that you can slightly see from a distance between 10 to 15 meters. So you can see from short to medium range or close medium range, and not from a very far away standpoint of where another person at. So it can be a good thing for people who are in close quarters, and a bad thing for snipers, right? To make people choose weapons in more variety. That's also a thing, to make people choose weapons in more variety. Rain, snow, and hail and mist. Those are just, another thing that, that's good for the game in the atmosphere wise, because there's not really much weather maps in the game. We did get that tornado. We all know what the tornado did in 2042. It wasn't really something rememberable. And I think in one of my videos, I was stuck in the tornado and I tried to get out of it, and I just kept getting sucked in. So, yeah, forget that tornado. Like, scrap it. Just have like regular, weather stuff that will be in the game. Right. Next topic. Actually, actual unif skins for the characters, right? To make them look more like they've been in the military. The reference, of course, I'm gonna say MW 2019, and I'm gonna pull it up, right? I'm gonna pull up some skins from MW 2019. Oh yeah, you saying Battlefield better than COD, but you're copying COD. Only skins. Only skins. You hear me? Only skins. All right, so the skins. The skins need to be more military, militarized, right? Militarized. Yes, needs to be purchasable, because obviously we will have purchase and premium in the game. So we need to have skins that people will purchase, and not just have something that we will not purchase. Doesn't make sense. So yes, I said the skins in my last video, and I explained it more deep. Next topic is, I think, a times 1.1 to 1.2 speed, or up in a movement speed, to make it a little bit more of BF4 or slightly above BF42's level. And I know I might get hate from that, to have like a movement a little bit faster than this game's movement. But one thing I'm gonna say, right, is that who knows how the optimization is going to be and the tick rate. If the tick rate is good for the game, if it is in its 60s to 90s, or said in my last video, 100 or 120 tick rate, to have more calculation, then we will obviously need to optimize more of the movement speed in the game, because more calculations of hitting the direct target, meaning that you will die faster if somebody has correct aim on you. Then you can have a little bit more time to get out the way. So for the movement speed to be jumped up a little bit, you can have more time to react to the person who's shooting at you, in a way that you can counteract or get into a building quickly, right? And if you're out in the open, then yes, you should obviously die, you know, or in a space where you should have died. So yeah, or movement speed for, the increased tick rate. Because obviously the movement in Battlefield 2042, yes, the 45% tick rate made the game look more clunky, and of course, it's not good. So next to my next topic. Yeah, scrap that. Scrap talking about that game. But you can watch it in the background. TTK that is fast, but gives, as always, the chance of 1 to 2 seconds to get to a cover. Not Delta Force's TTK. So y'all remember Delta Force's, TTK, right? That TTK was crazy fast. You couldn't even get into, cover. You didn't know who was shooting at you. Because all seen was a big screen shaking and you dying. A 1 to 2 second chance for a TTK, meaning that the movement speed will be into this category. So you should have a few seconds, not a few seconds, 1 to 2 seconds, because a few is way too much. Even 1 to 2 seconds is a little bit too much. I'm just being generous. Maybe 0.5 milliseconds, close to a second, or maybe a second and one, or something, or a second and three. We need TTK to be, fast but not too fast, but fast enough to know that you're shooting your target and you're actually making, you know, good hits on your target, and the gun's not is fully registering instead of not registering. Skill level. My next topic. A skill level grind system like in Battle Log, right? I'm gonna pull up, the skill level. Don't worry about the skill level because it doesn't mean anything. This game is 11 damn years old, and I do not try on that game. Skill level is a good addition to the game because obviously, it's something you can grind for, something that, shows that you're actually skilled in the game that you're playing. And, you know, it can possibly get you into a more, balanced server if you're adding a server browser. Because I think with the skill level in Battlefield, right? In the battle log and according to the Battlefield game or Battlefield 4, whatever, when you had a high skill level, you was in, a team with the same skill level as you. They had the same skill level as well, meaning that it was also a skill level based balance. But obviously, you had to get kills and win games. You had to win games to get that skill level, meaning that it wasn't really necessarily skill based matchmaking, but it was just a matchmaking system that was better off being in a battle log to help out the main general game. I can't really explain it in the biggest detail right now because I have a lot more to go actually. Or oh no, never mind. I have two more to go. What's the time? Well, I'm explain this real quick. The battle log should come back, and that is my next topic. So I'm gonna say that as well. The battle log should come back. The skill level in the battle log is something that helped the game because first it showed how capable you were in the games you were playing, had something to grind for, and it also helped with the platoons. If they add the platoons in the game into the next game, which they should, because they're obviously going to add a gauntlet mode. The gauntlet mode is another competitive mode. And if they don't add the gauntlet mode, they have to add another competitive mode that is, you know, surface around Battlefield and not necessarily Call of Duty, meaning that we need, you know, the battlefield of the competitive. Can't explain it right now. The battle log, for the battle log, right? The reason why I want the battle log in the game is that everything is more readable on a website and you can also read it on the go. Everybody likes, looking at their, achievements on the one game they like, right? People are guilty of that, even if you say you're not. I know I'm not, but I am guilty of it. Yeah, I'm guilty, but I'm not guilty. Check your phone, tablet, laptop, etc. Whichever type of, device that you have on the go, you can check your stats. You can check the assignments you need to complete, the weapons you need to unlock, the dog tags you can unlock, the dog tags you have, etc., etc. It just makes it a more, grounded thing. Doesn't really need to be too far invested into real life. It's just something that you can, show off whatever if you want to do that. It doesn't really matter too much, but it's just, something to bring back, the old memories of the people who, you know, went on the battlefield thing. And I'm also add one thing. This is not on the list, but I'm gonna add this. Add back the commander mode or something that you can spectate and, hack each other's thing. I think I said that in one of my videos. I keep saying think I said that right, but forget it, I'm gonna say it again. Add the commander mode back, but I think you should add it in a hardline style or a BF4 style. So add a commander mode and have two hackers be on on the scene. If one hacker is only on the scene, then you cannot have another hacker or commander. You can't. It should only be accessible for two opposing hackers. So yeah, yeah. So it should be locked for one who tries to do commanding and have a nice commanding. I'm gonna show some gameplay of some commander from Hardline or BF4, whichever one I'll feel like putting up. Two more things. The ghost effect when you get killed by somebody, right? And I know y'all know the ghost effect I'm talking about. When you get killed, right? In the next battlefield in the leaks, you get killed and you get shown a ghost of or an after shadow of somebody who just killed you. And then they're standing still in that, you know, position that they killed you in. And they have the free ability to move out that shadow and walk around freely. And the person who was killed can only see that one shadow that they just got killed by from that position that other person was in, meaning that you're in a ghost form. The reason why I want it kept in is because we never had something like that, for one. And second, if they bring competitive into the game, it makes it able that you will not be able to spot, somebody automatically, for the majority of the part. You can only spot them where they was currently at in a position. And also if people notice that people are, spotted when they just kill somebody, it can make them move more accordingly to the objective or to somewhere that they should be safe in the spot. And when you get killed by that person, you automatically mark their shadow. So I think it should be kept in the game. You automatically mark them. So yeah, I don't see why not to keep that in the game. My final thing is a grind system. Just add a grind system into the game. Y'all had assignments, y'all had DLCs, y'all had all this type stuff to unlock new weapons. If you are doing premium, please do not add the guns into the game where you literally have to, you know, get it freely for you, even though premium is a subscription based service. We should have it, a little bit challenging to unlock the guns since we're getting our money's worth. So we have to grind for it, our money's worth. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it sounds kind of wicked. Yeah, it do. But hey, I'm gonna say that. So that's all I'm gonna say for this video. That's all the things on my list that I want for my wish list to come true for a Battlefield, or some things to be added, for the next Battlefield. I think my list is viable. It's not necessarily the best wish list, and I could do way better. But if I try to, include everything, it will probably be close accordingly to 50 to 100, things and stuff that I want into the next Battlefield, and it could possibly take an hour. So, and the game's already about to release soon. So that's all I want to say for this video. I hope y'all like, share, and subscribe, and comment accordingly if to the idea that what you want into the next Battlefield and what you want removed. I'm open-minded to all ideas and details in the game. And yeah, I'll see y'all later.